All right, welcome to episode 30 of Mindchat. This episode will actually involve me for once in this whole series. I'm actually involved in this project with Michigan State University, and with me today in this episode is my fellow instructor, Spencer Greenhalgh. How are you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. It's good to be back in Mindchat, and it's good to actually finally get a little bit of what we've done in Michigan State University out and about into the public. So maybe you can tell the viewers exactly maybe the course that this project is involved with, and then we can move on from there.
All right. So this is, so Colin, as you know, but as your viewers might not know, we're
Hmm.
both instructors with Michigan State University's Masters in Educational Technology program. And this is, of course, CEP 813, which is about assessment or digital assessment for teaching and learning. So it's part of a certificate on online teaching and learning. And in this particular course, we focus on assessment. And one of the units that we do is on game-based learning. So we've watched a few videos from big names like Jim McGonigal and Jim G. And then so our students are actually in-service teachers. They're all involved in teaching, and we've designed this Minecraft module to give them the chance to play around with Minecraft and see how they might be able to use it in their particular classrooms.
Right, and it has to be said that it's quite out there for some of our students to actually go in here and try to envision something to do with what they're doing in their day-to-day job in Minecraft. It's kind of a challenge to them, and that's pretty much what we want, because we want to give them that arena to kind of envision assessment in another realm other than pencil and paper.
Absolutely.
So what we've got here is one big Minecraft EDU world hosted by Minecraft EDU, which turned out to be less hassle for us than to host it ourselves at Michigan State. So we can, at the flick of a switch, we can change servers and we don't have to worry about anything, and just works out kind of neater with our students to kind of
Right.
log in. Yeah, so it's worked out good. It's a bit of bad ping for me over in Singapore, but that's fine. Doesn't really affect me that much. So we've just picked three student projects here, and this one was from summer 2015, if I'm not mistaken, Spencer.
That's right.
So usually, well, I haven't done any of this. I'll give all the credit to you and the other instructor, Paul, for putting these teleport stations around the world that we can quickly go from each of the structures. So usually what we direct the students to do is put a kind of a introduction information block at the start, and maybe you can kind of let us know what this structure here is all about while I just adventure around myself.
Absolutely. So, uh, the Masters in EdTech program at Michigan State, when I said that it was in-service teachers who were enrolled, there's actually quite a bit of variety in the kind of educational professionals that we have here. And so, this was a structure created not by a school teacher, but by someone who works training paramedics and emergency medical services personnel. So, when you said that, for some teachers, this is a stretch to imagine how they could be using Minecraft in their day-to-day lives. Imagine someone who's working at a community college who's not teaching children, and we're asking him in his training of adults and in his training of medical professionals to think how he could be using Minecraft in his classroom. Very much of a stretch for him, very much
Yeah.
of a stretch for his bosses, but he really responded to it well. And what we have here is a triage center that not only looks really, really good, but is, um, a very redstone driven, a very creative way of having students do a triage activity where they read about different cases, and then they flip the appropriate switch to sort of say which medical category these people fall into.
I came in earlier and I failed miserably at finding the correct answers. So you don't want me around in an emergency. But um, so basically, do you know what the colors mean at all? Are you versed
There's
in that?
I know it is written I thought it was written somewhere. So one problem that we've had is working with a lot of Minecraft novices. I don't think they'll mind if we describe them that way because they've done some fantastic work. But working with people whose first or second experience with Minecraft is in this course and in creative mode where it's very easy to destroy things. This structure has been around for a couple of months, and sometimes signs and the important information we need just gets destroyed by someone who's not meaning to do anything. But it refers to 4 different conditions. Black is, I think, death, and then it works its way up to green, where someone's going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. So basically, the happier the color, the better off the person is.
I'm thinking maybe there was an information block here at some point.
I think so too, and I'm sure someone well-meaning just hit the wrong mouse button, and all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, yes, we have everybody logged in as teachers, so we cannot really protect the information blocks. So,
right.
So the great thing about this, yes, it's a quiz, and is it transformative? Yeah, in a certain way it is. You're actually experiencing going through a triage building, but at the end of the day, it's still a quiz. But I think what the powerful background scenery of this one is actually the quiz is actually redstone circuitry. So I did get one correct answer, and if you go through here, the answer that you get correctly lights up. And so when you get the 4 questions answered correctly, this door opens and you actually successfully have passed the test, which I found really pretty cool.
Yeah. I actually believe it's even a series of doors. So if you peek over the top of this first door, you can see that the second door is open because you've gotten the second answer correct.
Oh, pretty cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So you have to have all four doors open to be able to advance your way through. So and this was built by someone who had no knowledge of redstone before before he started this assignment. So it was a lot of work on his part to figure out all the odds and ends that went into this. Really impressive.
That's really cool. Yeah, and just we know this from experience. It's a very challenging thing for teachers who aren't gamers to go into a game in the middle of an assessment course, and we go boom, get in there and re-envision what you think assessment might look like in Minecraft. So yeah, this was a really cool and just a really kind of technical approach to Minecraft and assessment in Minecraft. So we're just going to use our little teleportation block here, and I'm going to find the second example, which is a small example, but I think it gives a good example of what we... Oh, there we go. Janet's Macbeth cast. Let's just head there. Alright. I kind of like this because it's something that can be pretty much transferred from early grades, from grades 2 probably upwards to maybe university level, who knows. I think the idea behind this one was that the teacher, actually you probably would know more about it than me, maybe this was one of your students.
Yeah, she was actually. So I think when we talk about games and education, the STEM fields get a lot of love. And this was an English teacher who wanted to do something about one of Shakespeare's famous plays, the Scottish play Macbeth. And so what she was asking her students to do is to come in and recreate a scene from Macbeth in Minecraft. And so while the last one we were looking at was really taking advantage of almost the computational aspects of Minecraft by setting up the redstone circuits and things like this, this was a teacher who was really interested in almost the Lego aspects of Minecraft, the creative aspects of Minecraft, where she was doing part of the creation, but she was asking her students to do the rest of it, to take all of these different tools, all of these different kinds of blocks, and create a scene based off of their understanding of the Scottish play.
Right. I think that's pretty like a lot of the teachers that use Minecraft around the world will actually, that'll tick a box for them basically, because I think what people find about Minecraft is the creative element of it, and not just something where you go in and you ingest information, and that's it's just
Right.
substituting, teaching or a form of traditional assessment. You are just doing the same in Minecraft, and I think it's this sort of open-ended direction that students can really just use their imagination, their creativity, and
Hmm.
using stories as inspiration to actually create something new and cool. And then what they do with it then is another step. Do they screencast it? Do they do voiceovers? Do they actually recreate the scene themselves with different students
Right.
in their class? There's so many different options to do, and that's why I kind of liked this example, because it's getting to the point where, yeah, it's this is using the all the plus points of Minecraft basically in education.
And to go back to something that you just said, I'm glad you reminded me of this, but the teacher who created this little area was actually thinking about what I feel comfortable having my students reenact Minecraft, or sorry, reenact Macbeth in here. Uh, so instead of setting up a stage and setting up all the props on the stage, they set up the stage in Minecraft, and then they go in and read the lines and get a chance to really experience the play as it was meant to be experienced as a play.
Mm.
Um, but doing so in sort of a digital realm, which is
Mm.
kind of fun.
It's cool. Yeah, and I remember back in one of my first episodes, I think it was Adam Clark, like they have created the Globe Theatre in
Uh-huh.
Minecraft as well. So it's all been done, and I think it's definitely a rich area for Minecraft in education for sure. Let's teleport on to the next and final um, project here, and I think it's at the final page because it's actually this semester's. It's Elisa's School of Math Rocks.
All right.
So this is one of my students, and I kind of like this because it mixes up actually the first project we just saw and the second project. So it actually does give a little bit of you know, um, a little bit of teaching prompts in it. I'm just reading the information block here so people can see the intro.
Hmm.
And so she's a math teacher, and so basically the students come in, follow the blocks, really kind of investigate the building that they're in. They have to write a quadratic equation. I'm glad they have to do it and not me. Then they have to actually work out all the measurements of this building itself, and then they head outside basically. Very very simple, very 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 quick area, but something that I think a math teacher could actually practically use in their lesson. It probably wouldn't take a whole lot, and that's pretty nice when you're a math teacher and you don't really know if Minecraft's going to be the solution for you. So it would be nice to just have maybe a 20-30 minute lesson and see what actually happens.
Hmm.
So they head on out here to the back and they basically have to write their function and talk about the square footage of the area of the new building, and then create something basically using the math terminology and the math concepts that they've just learned.
Right.
So just adding a little bit of ingestion of material, and then actually a little bit of room for student creativity as well. So pretty just nice and straightforward.
And I think it's interesting what you said about being glad that you're not the one who has to write the quadratic equation. But looking through all of these, I'm impressed with how much the students are bringing their subject matter. And when I say students, I mean teachers. They're
Yeah.
bringing their subject matter into what they're creating in a way that you and I, Colin, even though we know Minecraft better than they do, they would have to walk us through, parts of what they've created at the end,
Right.
because we have different teaching backgrounds than they do, and that's, I think, a fantastic example of showing how technology can be repurposed for so many different content areas in ways that it's the way that one teacher uses it is different than the way that the other teacher uses it.
Yeah, and we've seen it, and it's been interesting to look around. I didn't see all the summer students' work until this week, and it's interesting just to see, how teachers approach each each of the projects within their subject. It's really
Hmm.
really interesting to see, and you can tell, and from interacting with our students, of course, with Michigan State, it's a challenging activity for them, but in fairness to them, they definitely take the bull by the horns and they just go with it. And you know,
Absolutely.
some of them are small, but some of them are quite involved and in large scale. But with this one here, the math one, it's quite small square footage wise, but it's got a lot of instruction and a lot of material within a small area. So
Hmm.
Minecraft projects don't have to be crazy big. I think
No.
that might be one of the things that teachers get afraid of, that they're kind of be scared of, that it actually has to be one big massive world and you have to manage the big world like that. But with something like this, you can
Right.
do it on a pretty small scale. And of course, with Minecraft EDU, you can corral all your students into one area and kind of keep them there,
Right.
which sometimes helps.
Absolutely.
So I think it's really exciting to see. I didn't actually get to teach this the first two times it's been done by Michigan State, but so actually teaching it is actually really cool to see what the students' reactions to it, and it'll be interesting to see the evolution of this course over the next couple of years. Who knows what will happen?
Absolutely.
What do you think are the main advantages to this one? Just to wrap up our episode, the main advantages of this module. It's a 2 week module in the middle of a pretty much an assessment course. I think the title of our course is digital assessment or electronic assessment, but I think leading up to this leading up to this module, in the middle of it, we do go through the fundamental aspects of assessment, and we do a lot of reading and a lot of reading of research papers that are quite long. And coming to this module, I think it comes out of left field kind of to our students, that
Right.
we're going into we're going into a strange game now. So how do you think it fits in overall into the course?
Well, I think what you're talking about. There is this very theoretical lens that we look through for several weeks in the course, and then we we go almost overnight into a very practical way of looking at things. And I think the advantage of that, as you said, is these things can be applied in new ways, and using any technology, whether that's Minecraft, whether that's a course management system, whether that's some other gadget or gizmo, is all about taking these good ideas that we know about education, whether through research or through personal experience, and then applying it in a new way. And so the shift from theory to practice there, the shift from academic paper to Minecraft world, is very, very intentional. And I think it's a great way for teachers to practice designing new assessments. It's a great way for them to try something new and to see that we're not including Minecraft just because it's a buzzword, just because it's popular with the kids these days, but because it's something that they actually can apply these academic theories and these foundational ideas to. And I think one of the things I appreciate most about this module is seeing the teachers who are a little more skeptical when they start, and, and then watching them over time really, as you said, take the bull by the horns, figure out what they can do with it, and just sort of go to town. And most of the time, the teachers who are skeptical about this going into it wind up with something that's fantastic, something better than I could have ever hoped for.
hmm And I think as well, I think we kind of we tee this up quite nicely, because I think the week before this, or maybe 2 weeks before this, we actually give them feedback on a prior assignment by video, and that kind of leads into this Minecraft project, as in, yes, you can use screencasts as a way to
Mm-hmm.
assess your students, and then, if you are doing something in Minecraft, then yes, your students can go into Minecraft and use screen recording software to show you what they've learned, and that can be your
Absolutely.
assessment. So I think it ties in very nicely. And thanks for your time, Spencer. We're going to wrap it up here, and look forward
Well,
to
thank you.
teaching the rest of the course with you.
All right.
All right, that's the end of episode 30 of Mind Chat. We'll see you pretty soon for another episode. Thank you.